Hello, everyone. Dear President, dear member of the LAN, I'm very honored to be here to present a project, the ALFAC project, which is funded by Erasmus Plus Sport. And ALFAC means aquatic literacy for all children. And if I do well my presentation, despite, as you can hear, my very Frenchy accent, but very romantic. So I apologize for my English skills that are very lower than the members before me. If I do well, you will understand what it means and how it can help to improve the curriculum and the program, because this is the aim of the project, which is a 3 years project, and it began last year. So, because I have only, I think, 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I would like to share with you the main ideas behind this project and a brief overview of what we did during the first year. Can we share together an idea what would be an ideal swimming learning program? Of course, each national program depends on geographical, structural, cultural variables, but we can share, and we are sharing the same idea. A good program resulted in a good protection of children when they swim. So, of course, we have to protect the children. We have to equip them with basic skill, aquatic skill, protective skills to have a maximum safety when they are in the water. But when a child is learning swimming, is it a real success if he will not develop joy to be in the water, confidence to be in the water, the willingness to engage more in the water? So the aim of the ALFAC project is to help national curriculum to improve, to better protect children from the drowning, and to engage them more in aquatic activities. So we can model this, a water program, swimming water safety program. And if the children is able to learn to swim with safety, joy, he can be involved and discover a lot of aquatic activity, which in turn improve his swimming skills. So let's show here 2 videos. The first one, the videos are in the same swimming pool. The first one is Alex. He is 4. It's the first time he will cross the swimming pool without aid flotation. And in the same swimming pool, a few minutes later, here, there is Raymond. She is, trust me, it's true, she is 100. She is 100. And she swims 100 meters in breaststroke weekly. And the question is, what positive experience she lived to be involved in so long time in aquatic activities. So maybe the question is, on what basis can we move forward with Learn to Swim programs? And as you know, since 15 years, there is a big gap, thanks to Robert Stallman. The epidemiology of drowning can be a point of reference to improve the Swim to Learn program. According to Robert, this is the causes of drowning that should dictate the way we teach swimming and what children should learn. It's not only pedagogical beliefs, but we have to be inspired by the drowning epidemiology. And with this idea, with this new idea 20 years ago around, he developed maybe the most famous international model of can swim, the water competence. And this model shows that there are around 7 basic aquatic skills to be developed, from the enter to the exit with flotation, propelling on the belly, propelling on the back, mastery rotation, submersion, breathing, etc. And these skills have to be taught to be adapted in different conditions, closed, to simulate open water in closed water. And this adaptation is allowed by knowledge, accurate self-perceived competence, and, of course, knowledge about water environment and risks perception. So, with this model, it is possible to analyze and to guide the swimming and water safety program. The question is my national program covered by all these 15 water competencies? And I think it's what we do since around 10 years, and when we analyze all the program, there are basic aquatic skills, there are knowledge, etc. But maybe there are some limits. Because, of course, we have data about drowning, so it's a big problem, and we have to fight this problem, of course. But in the water competence model, we don't have benchmark. We don't have references. We don't know for an age or for a number of lessons how long a kid who is in a good program is able to tread water, 10 seconds, 1 minute, or 2 minutes. And this model doesn't allow us to assess if this swimming program has the power to engage, has the power to develop very positive relationships with the water. So the question and the beginning of the ALFAC project is, what kind of analysis could help us do better in the improvement in our national program? And for that, we take inspiration from what school systems are doing to make progress. I think you know the famous PISEA program for Program International Student Assessment. And this program in the school organize tests for all the countries of the OECD in reading literacy, mathematical literacy, science literacy at different ages. And the results allow each school system to compare with the others and to have a guide based with the real needs of the children, of the student. It's not only an idea, it's not a philosophical idea of what they have to learn. It's a real database which reflects the needs of the students. And of course, maybe you have the same idea as our consortium, ALFAC consortium. Why do we not organize a Can Swim PISA? If we organize a Can Swim PISA, we can compare our program and we can assess the power of our program. And this is possible because in the literacy, so literacy means the way the children have knowledge and the way they use this knowledge to solve problems in the real life. And there is a model of physical literacy. I think a lot of you know it. It's a Whitehead model with physical literacy. Physical literacy is the motivation, the confidence, the physical competence, the knowledge and understanding that enable a person to value and take responsibility for their engagement to physical activity through their life. This model has 30 years old, has now a scientific maturity with a lot of tests and a lot of evidences that children who have the higher level of physical literacy are more engaged in a long time in physical activity. So, our idea was this one. We have merged the Stallman's model with the water competencies, especially for the physical domain, and we have merged this model with the Whitehead model to create the aquatic literacy model. And with this concept, the question is clearer. What is an ideal swimming and water safety education program? This is a program which improves the aquatic literacy levels of the children so that they can engage themselves in water activity with safety, with joy, with confidence, with motivation. And by being involved and participated in water activity, in turn, they improve their aquatic level. This is the main idea of the ALFAC project. And the project is to use this concept to assess the aquatic literacy level of children in 7 countries: Portugal, France, Belgium, Germany, Norway, Poland, and Lithuania. Different countries with different drowning rates, with different swimming education system, with different geographical conditions. Of course, to perform such challenge, a scientific challenge to assess an aquatic literacy level, we need a big team. So I'm very happy to be a part of it. You know, of course, in this room there are some members from the University of Lille, the University of Porto, the Hochschule of Korn, the APTN, the Lithuanian Swimming Federation, the French Union of Swimming Instructors, the Vilnius Sport Department, and the University of Sport of Oslo. Sorry if I forget one. And in this project, the first phase is to create and test a battery of tests to capture an aquatic literacy level. It's not easy. It's really not easy. In the second time, we will perform a big data collection across these 7 countries so that we can compare ourselves and detect some strengths and some weaknesses in each country, so that we can say that we are making a pizza of the can swim between the 7 countries. We will, of course, communicate about the weaknesses and the strengths, and according to the results, we plan to build a pedagogical toolkit to guide pedagogues to improve some dimension of aquatic literacy. So now I will present to you the tools we created last year. We did a pilot study to assess these tools. It's not easy. It's not perfect, of course, because, as you understand, we try to measure aquatic literacy levels, that is to say, a relationships between a child and the water. We spoke about this question this morning. And for that, we use several tools. The first one is questionnaires. We use parental questionnaires and children questionnaires. So we use parental questionnaires to have an idea of the background of the child, because of course we have to make in perspective his aquatic literacy level with the number of swimming lessons he benefits in the school, outside the schools, during holidays. So we have the data about the social economical status of the family, and we use the parental questionnaire to have also the level of aquatic, of swimming of the parent, because it will influence, of course, the aquatic literacy level of the child. We use, of course, questionnaire for children, so we are going to the classrooms in each country. And because we spoke a lot about perceived, self-perceived competence, for example, you have here a question. You can see a quick way to exit the water, so you are in a mat. and it's free, so it moves. Are you able to exit, to climbing up one free floating mat, sitting on your knees and letting it for 3 seconds? Have you ever done this? Do you think you can do this? And of course, after we go to the swimming pool to assess that. So we have a children questionnaire to measure self-perceived competence, motivation, pleasure, engagement, confidence, and we have also a picture with risks, situation, and he has to assess the degree of the risk. So we have a complete questionnaire. We use it in the classroom. And of course, after this classroom session, we go to the swimming pool. And during the swimming pool, we are, of course, inspired by the Stallman's model. And we assess the actual competence in entry in the water, exit in the water, submersion, propulsion on the belly, on the back, mastery rotation. So here you can see some tasks during the pilot study. Some have changed a little bit, because, of course, we learn each time. Sorry, it's not... Ooh. Oh, sorry. Oh. So we have the capacity to assess very clearly the actual competence in each aquatic skills. So we do like a scanner of the motricity. But if we are in line with the physical literacy model, we have to assess if each children is able to use these skills in the real life. So we create a combined task. I will maybe start, maybe I will be more lucky this time. Oh. Maybe if I do this. No. Oh. Oh, yeah. Numeric literacy, you see? Hop, let's go. Oh! Oh. I introduced to you the swimming pool of the University of Lille. You can see. Hop. Allez, let's go. Wow. Can you help me, baby? Maybe? Sorry for that. Sorry. Okay, perfect. You can applaud Mr. Farouk, thank you. So we assess the ability to use these skills in a real life scenario. So as you can see, it's closed. He has to process visual information. He has to show the mat the assessor is showing. At the beginning, this is a standard parkour. So he has to tread water, to process visual information on the front, on the back. And during the parkour, he has to make decision. He has to make decision. I have to stop or to go on. And he has to decide if he is able to go on or is the time to stop. And if he failed between two exits, so now we ask him a question, do you want to stop or do you want to go on? And if he stop or make failure during the two exits, he failed totally the test, and he knows that. So it's a kind of test when we can assess a making choice decision about his tiredness and his self-perceived competence at a time, okay? So with all the battery of tests, we are, sorry for that, I'm sorry, because we checked 2 hours ago. So I will, okay, a mix, okay, thank you, okay. I will finish like that, okay. So with all the battery of tests, we are able to capture the aquatic literacy level from the motivation, pleasure, confidence, motor skills, the way they can use the motor skills in a parkour. And we are compare together our weaknesses and our strengths in order to improve each national program. And at the end of this year, in 2024, I think we can report about the result of this study. Sorry for the end, we check it, but thanks a lot for your attention.
Thanks for persevering despite the technical challenges you had then, Francois. If you'd just like to stay, does anybody have a question, first of all, based on some fascinating discussions there? Okay, have a think about it for a couple of moments, and I'll fire a few over to you. Look, I mean, how transformational do you feel this, the research and the implementation of the model that you talk about could be in terms of changing lives out there when we talk about, you know, the literacy and improving that understanding among children?
At first, physical literacy has gained a lot of popularity. It's in a momentum in the physical education, science and program, etc., because you know there is a lot of problem on sedentarity of physical inactivity. But swimming, aquatic activities are a very important characteristic. If you are bad, if you have low in skills, you can die. Yeah. If you have very low skills in football, okay, it's not good for you, but you won't die. You are not happy, but you won't die. So that's why, to us, for all the consortium, aquatic literacy is very specific. And we can base our thinking about the works before us with Robert Stallman, Langendorfer, Kevin Moran, etc., etc. There are a lot of scientific works. The new thing is we have to protect, but we have to engage. So we have to think about the way we teach. It's not only a question of basic skill. Of school, of course, it's obvious, very, 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 very important. But I think we can improve our teaching so that the kids, when they are learning to swim, to be safe, they have a very good relationships. During your first interview this morning, you spoke about that, with the relationships with the water. And for me, but of course I have involved, so maybe I'm not objective, but for the first time, we will have an international database about the aquatic skills, the motivation, the pleasure, the confidence by age, by gender, in a big sample, and we can have a thinking not only about beliefs or about surveys, but about real data about the level of the child. So maybe the Nordic countries have good programs. So what are their progress axes now? Because they are good, but what else to do better? And for the other country, it could be another axis, because we have to adapt. We can't have, to me, the same improvement, the same way of improvement. We have to have some data to select the better axis of progress for each program. That's a new thing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Any hands? We do. Nice and strong one there. The microphone is heading your way.
I have a loud voice.
Feel free. We've been struggling with these microphones, as you may have noticed.
What kind of specialist do you think that is needed for a Learn to Swim program across the 7 countries that you present? You have only swim coaches in your program, or you have other professionals?
That is to say, you mean in the team, in the research team? We have researcher, we have technique advisor, we have pedagogues, we have swimming instructor. It's a mixed team, so that we have research thinking, but pragmatical thinking too. So it's a mixed group. It's the rules in the Erasmus Plus Sport program.
Okay, because I see this opportunity to have more professionals on your team, more people that are involved in motor development, in biomechanic development. Therefore, I ask people in this room, is there any physiotherapist or special development in the room?
Yes, there are.
inside for the children age 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 or older, in order to have a smoother way into the water and the development in their motoric skills into the water, and reduce the time needed for them to achieve some kind of skills in the water to test them?
I think that, to me, can swim research is at a beginning stage. You are a physiologist, you have a century of works, maybe more, behind you as a background literature. To my opinion, the research of can swim starts, of course, there is McGraw, I don't know if you know, in the 20s, okay? But it's really start in the international point of view with Robert Stallman, with Kevin Moran, with Langendorfer, with a lot of very, of course, there are few papers in the 70s and 80s, but we are in the beginning. Can swim is a question of motor skills. It's a question of psychology, affective. It's a question of developmental stage. It's interdisciplinarity to me. That's why we try with this project to combine our scientific skills and pedagogical skills in one team, okay? But to me, the relationships between an individual and the water, it's so rich that everybody who wants to help to improve the program is welcome, of course. To me, there is no the pedagogue, a border, the scientific. We have to discuss together because sometimes with the scientific in the team, we are seeking some task. It's impossible to implement in the swimming pool. It's very in line with the theory, but it's not possible. So we need pedagogues to find the middle, okay? So to me, the can swim is not only a question of motor, psychology, social knowledge. It's a mix between, and is more than the sum of that. This is the idea of physical literacy, aquatic literacy. And I think we have to be involved in this research area to improve the program, to improve the understanding of what a kid lives when he is learning swimming. I hope I answer.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your answers. Thank you very much for the questions.